Texans. I think they win the division here on the road, and that also would come with a pretty big upset on the bottom of the screen there with the Titans and Ryan Tannehill at home.
We've got a squad ride sweep. Let's fucking go, boys.
How about that?
How about the Magic? So, Ron, we'll be seeing, brother. You were a terrible coach. We are in the same spot now that we were in 4 years ago. If not, maybe even worse. All right. And then, yes, a Five Guys bang. How about it, chat? 200 to win $2,200. What do you say?
I'll tell you what this screams to me. Like, I think Corum still gets his yards, but this square screams to me there's going to be a big run early in the game from Michigan, and you're going to look up and be like, oh, surely it's Corum. No, it's probably going to be Donovan Edwards.
What
is that?
Dang.
Is that from
bro,
your
I don't
camera?
know. These TikTok cameras, bro. They be getting me. Yeah, there it is. Squad rides are perfect in the new year. Let's fucking go. What's going on, chat? Happy BTL Monday, episode 403 piece. As always, hold the fry, joined by your two hosts, Krabs and Javon, presented by Pickett Sports. If you guys aren't tracking your bets on Pickett, what are you doing? Do you live under a rock? Grow up in the new year, start tracking your bets, and hold yourself accountable. Okay, I promise if you download Pickett, it's free. You're not going to get it off your phone. You're going to keep using it every day. It syncs up with your books and locks in your bets automatically. So zero work. What we all like. Okay, they do all the work for you. Javon, we're back on this Monday. We've got an elite week coming up. All right, Super Bowl. No football yesterday. It was tough. It ain't much, but it's honest work. We made do with some college basketball and that moose shit slate. But we're here. Okay, we've got all week to craft up winners for the Super Bowl weekends. We've got a couple decent college basketball games today, and I know Chelly's hyped because we got hockey back. And Javon, look, man, I mean, you've been an absolute king on the ice this season as well. I'm sure you'll have a couple angles on those two games today. Are you hyped?
Surely, yeah. I mean,
sure.
today's games are pretty tricky, but I'm more so excited for tomorrow. But yeah, glad it's back. Need it. And we'll talk about both those games as well, chat. Hope you guys had a great weekend. Okay, let me know how you guys did. Did you hit some bets? Did you keep afloat? I was pretty much even through the weekends. The heater has ended. All right, we're not losing bets left and right, but it's been pretty much 50-50 the last week or so. Let's try to change the narrative, flip the script today, Javon, before the Super Bowl this weekend. Excited to hit some bets and continue to build up that bankroll. Okay, sure.
Let's go over the squad ride recap from Friday. I believe it was a winner. Sure. Great freaking look, Javon. Those NBA overs. I don't know how you're doing it. I don't know if you know either. Sure. Dudes, run that damn train. These NBA overs, Javon, they're printing. Great look.
They are. I don't know how I've started to do it either. Just started to get into getting into them a little deeper, and somehow they're working well. So gonna keep shooting.
Boss. Okay. We got No Nut Buster coming in, resubbing, perfect timing there. We got Len Bong coming in, giving out a sub bang as well. Len Bong, wouldn't expect anything less. Okay, W's. We got Lieutenant Goose coming in hot with a resub as well. St. Ruley dropping a follow to Degen Party of 47. Sheesh, almost a 50 bird coming in hot. Love to see that, boys. Let's have a Monday. Let's attack. Let's hope the Sharp Report today looks like it did on Friday because, my goodness, that was some of our best work, Javon.
Yeah.
4-1 both ways, and would not expect it any other way, Javon. Blackshear obviously shafted me there with a perfect day. Typical. Wouldn't expect anything less. But you did get a Capella rebounds, which was absolutely massive. We're going to talk about that here in a second as Ron Mox already gives out a sub bank. I mean, he's already here. He's dialed. And good seeing Ron on Friday as well at the Wizards game. That was elite. Good to see my guy Ron. We got the Jordan Poole bobbleheads. I think those are probably worth less than just like an AI bobblehead. But it is what it is. I got a couple of those. I'm sure everyone at the game has a couple extras. Okay, I don't think those are selling like hotcakes.
Sure.
Ron, good to see you, my man. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for the subbies. Guys, are you ready for this Monday slate? All right, we've got a couple sleeper picks in college basketball. I'm sure Javon has an NHL play. And we've got NBA as well to talk about. Look, I know it's not a beautiful card, all right, but let's hope the Sharp Report, like I said, ends up like this today. And you know what? Javon, I've seen worse Sharp Reports. I have. I've seen worse. I think we're going to be okay. All right. King of the board, let's go ahead and give you your flowers. You deserve it. All right. Not my best week, although I did try my goddamn hardest, and so did Queens, my beloved Queens, coming out with an ML win there at the end of the week, but wasn't enough to pull off the comeback. You did get Capella rebounds, and I'm pretty sure he ended with 10. or 11. Was it close?
Yeah, if you get 10. Hey,
10, sure.
you got like 2
Love it.
fouls in the first 2 minutes, so I kind of chalked it. But he came back and
Wow.
was Rodman, so that was huge. I cut the deficit to about 50 in King of the Boards.
Okay. I mean, look, man, we'll take it brick by brick, right? You can't chip away at it all at one time. We'll see if you bounce back with back-to-back wins for the first time this season. Okay,
Sure.
We'll see how it goes. Goots, you want to do a giveaway? You feeling nice today, Goots? You trying to give away some coins?
I'm feeling extra nice.
Feeling extra nice today? Good. Let's give away some coins for the people last week. Somebody with the milk emoji finally deserves some free promo and prize picks. Let's go.
Finally.
Let's see who's been trusting Javon. All right. All right, Goots. Rip it.
Our boy right here.
We're going Day. Let's go Day. Oh, he deserves it more than anybody.
He deserves
might
it.
be my number one fan on Twitter, straight up.
Yep.
My guy
He
Day
comments-
deserves this promo. 100%.
He comments on literally every post. He's the man.
Go
Let's
right
go
there.
Day. Sure. Day, bro, you're probably in here watching. Let's go Drum.
Here we
go.
Door Beast. Door Beast. DM us on the BTL Twitter. We got you. All right. DM us your email associated with your Prize Picks account, and we got you. W's.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, nobody deserves it more than him. Let's fuck.
Nobody.
All right. And guys, if you want to win some promo for this upcoming week, I'm pretty sure Goots fired off that puppy already. Go to the Book at BTL Twitter. Go to this tweet. Javon finally got a W. He's catching strays left and right on this Monday. I apologize.
Insane.
Insane strays on a Monday. But yeah, go to this tweet, guys, real quick. Put a crab or a milk emoji in the comments before you forget. And that way you can potentially win some Prize Picks promo on Monday when I take my crown back. Okay. W week, Javon, we'll take it. Good king of the board win. Let's go ahead and cut the shit and do the steam craps. I'm ready to get mad. It's been enough giveaways, enough fun for the Monday. Let's hop in. I'm trying to yell about something. Good. Run it. Good old Cliff coming to DC, folks, huh? If you would have told me we're getting Dan Quinn and Cliff Kingsbury to come over and run our team, I'd say, what universe am I in? Is this real life? I don't know what the fuck is going on. I don't know if it's good or bad yet. Chad Javon was trying to talk me off the ledge last night saying, check the data. Okay, look into what Cliff has done. He knows how to run an offense. Might not know how to run a team, but he can run an offense. Guys, that's not what I'm here to bitch about. Okay, I'm not smarter than Cliff Kingsbury. I'm not smarter than the NFL execs picking these coaches. Okay, I'm going to trust. All right, so I'm going to bitch about it, but I'm going to trust and see what my guy Cliff can do here. He has had some success with some pretty good QBs in the past, like Mahomes, but this is steam craps, Javon. This is not supposed to be good stuff. What I'm concerned about and what I don't understand, what I can't wrap my brain around is the fact that we signed Cliff Kingsbury and every Commanders fan yesterday is acting like we just got Caleb Williams already. Like he's in a package deal. That'd be cool. I'd be in for that. Go ahead and bring him over if there is some sort of package with Cliff Kingsbury. I don't know if that's a thing or not. But, guys, let's not kid ourselves, okay? Caleb Williams is going number 1 overall, and whether that's us trading up to get that pick or whether that's the Bears taking him, which I'm hearing a lot of, by the way. I don't think anybody's hearing anything differently besides the Commanders fans just on cloud 9 making up shit. I'm pretty sure Caleb Williams is going number 1 of the Bears. And Javon, we've seen players complain in the past about not wanting to go places. Very rarely have we seen that work out. I know Eli Manning pulled that one off, pulled a fast one a couple of years ago, probably only because of his last name. I got away with that puppy, but it doesn't usually work out for the players here where they say they don't want to go somewhere and then, that team passes up on them. If I were the Bears, I wouldn't give a shit, and I'd pick a generational talent at QB at number 1 because that could change your organization and win you a Super Bowl. Okay, we got this guy who's been a GM, who's been around the business for a while, who's covering the Bears a little bit, saying Caleb and his preference, sure, it has zero effect. Okay, and honestly, I cannot agree more, and I'm happy someone finally said it. As much as I want to buy in, guys, he ain't coming to DC. Okay, it breaks my heart. I wish he was. I wish I could snap my fingers and get Caleb here to change everything. If he doesn't go number 1, I'm going to be shocked. Let's not act like just because Cliff's coming over that we now have the number 1 overall pick in the draft. Okay, let's pipe down a little bit. And that's coming from me. Okay, I just don't get it, Javon. He's not coming to DC. He's going number 1 overall. And unless we pull off some crazy RG3 type trade, we're not getting him.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen, but I can tell you first, let me say this. I think we're going to come back to this. Not this, but Cliff Kingsbury in September, maybe I guess you got to be a little further than that, like October, November, it's going to be one of the best hires of the offseason.
Wow.
Him as OC for the Commanders.
Wow.
Can't run a team. He's not a head coach, but he's a damn good offensive coordinator. He's a damn good quarterback development guy, which is what he's done at every single level, every team that he's been at. So regardless of if it's Caleb or you draft Jaden Daniels or whatever it is, he knows how to work with quarterbacks. So I think you can at least be confident in the fact that there is a strong plan going forward for the Commanders. And
at least there's somebody there now who knows how to work with a QB. We know that for a fact. And I'll be honest with you, another plus, Javon, is, look, I don't want Drake May. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he'll end up being the greatest one of them all. But I just have a weird feeling he's not going to be. And he's going to turn into Daniel Jones 2.0. I don't want him personally, okay? And the fact that we're bringing in Cliff tells me we're probably not going to go with Drake May. We're probably going to go with the more mobile QB, like moving up for Caleb, probably not. Or taking the Heisman winner, who I've wanted for the last couple of weeks, Jaden Daniels. Give me Daniels. I'll be happy, and we'll see how this works, okay? The weirdest thing out of all of this, and then we're going to move into the Sharp Report, but the weirdest thing out of this whole, bit is Eric Bieniemy. What's going on with Eric Bieniemy? I've never seen, something happen where a coach is still, on retainer when they bring in a new OC, when he's still on the website as the OC. I've never seen a guy and the news around him in 2024 be so silent. Everyone knows everything at this point. All the insiders have all the info out before the teams even announce it. I don't know what's going on here. I feel bad for EB, to be honest with you at this point, Javon. Let the guy go if we're going to cut him loose. Maybe he's just waiting around for the Chiefs season to end so he can go back to Kansas City. I don't know. But is this not like the weirdest thing you've seen with a coach in the past couple seasons? What is going on with EB? What are they working through with him? Is he staying on as some sort of like exec? I doubt it. He's a coach. Where is he going? What are we doing with him? I'm so confused.
Yeah, I don't know. Because I guess throughout this little, the Commander stint for Bieniemy, yeah, it's probably not happening. But
I swear, man, if we do all this and we take Drake May, I'm going to be
the thing is, like, Cliff wants a mobile quarterback, so he's going either Daniels or Caleb Williams if they're drafting a quarterback. And then, if they want to draft Drake May, you already have Drake May on your team, and it's Sam Howell. They're the same quarterback, so might as well keep him there. That'd be the smart thing to do. But it's the Commanders, so who knows? But Bieniemy kind of bet on himself, and it didn't work. I don't really know throughout the whole coaching process that we've gone through in the NFL now who really wants him. So if he wants to stay as an offensive analyst, kind of like Kingsbury and a couple of different guys have done, I wouldn't be shocked because, Dan Quinn is not the best head coach at times, but the one thing he has consistently done as a head coach is he's assembled a really good staff, however he's been. You remember his first OC hire in Atlanta was Kyle Shanahan, and he established really good staff throughout the time there. So, if Bieniemy stays and he's just kind of sitting in the woodworks there, I wouldn't be shocked.
I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, this guy is acted and treated like a king for most coming over from Kansas City. He's trying to silence all those questions about, living in Andy Reid's shadow. And then he puts up a pretty solid year overall last season. It ended terribly, but pretty much every team who's dead seasons end terribly. And I look at the majority of the middle of the season and, Bieniemy called some great plays overall more often than not. He was a 12th ranked play caller in the NFL last season, better from when we were 31st the season before. So he made the improvements. He did his job in my eyes. I feel like he's getting shafted a little bit. And are we really getting an upgrade with Cliff calling the plays over Bieniemy? I just don't know. It's like we pulled the rug under EB after 1 year. I just don't get it. Why even do it in the first place? But he was Ron's guy, and Ron's gone now. So I understand you want to bring in your own people. I get it. As long as it works out, I'm not going to be mad. But that's the problem, guys. It's the Commanders. It never fucking works out. Okay? They'll find a way to mess us up. All right? Yeah. I hope I'm wrong. But they'll find a way to mess us up. And I feel bad for EB. All right? Let the guy loose. Don't keep him around in the shadows, finding out what we're trying to do with him. I feel bad.
Well, I don't know that it's necessarily him or like a Commander's decision at this point, because if he hasn't gone through and gotten any sort of looks or interviews or even talk from any other team at this point after all of the coaching shuffle, coordinating shuffle that we've seen so far, I don't know if anybody wants him. He bet on himself in a situation that he was destined to fail.
I know.
So like the clock might be out on Bieniemy.
And he might have lost, but I don't think he lost by that much. Okay, and we'll leave it at that. I still kind of believe in the guy, and I feel like he's getting the short end of the stick. Okay,
fair.
Let's move. We got some winners to talk about for today, chat. Let me know what you guys are betting on today. What is catching your eye Does anybody in chat have a POD? Does anybody have a 5U whale? Does Ron have a 2-unit play? Anybody in chat have a play that they love? Let me know right now. Go, 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 go. Hurry up as we go over our favorite plays for the day on the BTL Chalk Report. Okay, I'll get it started off. This is probably my least favorite one on the cards, but wanted to go chronologically with time here, Javon. We'll start in the NBA. Dallas and Philly. Okay, I know Embiid's been out for a little bit, right? So I know the news came out, I believe, last night that he's going to be out for an extended amount of time. I'm curious in chat if anybody thinks or knows how long he's going to be out. Side notes, is he done for the season? What's good with that? But either way, it's kind of like buying bad news, although he's kind of already been out, so I don't really care about that. What I do care about is Luka getting hurt over the weekends, his ankle. I don't know if he's going to even play in this game. He's questionable. I know Kyrie's probably coming back and playing in this spot. I get it. That's huge for their offense, and I'm honestly fine with buying that news. But I doubt Luka plays. They're probably going to rest him after he hurt his ankle, and even if he does, they can't be expecting him to perform as well as he did in that last game. But this total just keeps on rising up, Javon, and I don't get it. I feel like it's a similar, buy bad news, weird spot with the highest total of the day, and I'm all in. Give me points. I know it's buying, an over after Maxi's legacy performance the other day when he was writing, 50 points, 60 points on a freaking white piece of paper like he's Wilt. But either way, I think, it's pretty clear if you know basketball that if Joel Embiid's not on the floor, the 76ers are quick. They like to run, and I think we're going to see that, against Dallas, who also can keep up the tempo, especially with Kyrie back as well. So I think this total is going to soar. It keeps creeping up with all the injury news going around. Who knows who's playing in this game? There's like 3 guys who are questionable. But I think either way, we're getting an over. It feels like a similar over spot that we were taking last week.
Yeah, I'm in. And this one, I mean, you're definitely like buying a little bit of good news, I guess, with Kyrie back. And I don't know, the 76ers have been playing a lot of high scoring games. So have the Mavs. They're just those couple of teams, but it feels like the one that makes sense that I'm perfectly fine taking, especially because Derek Lively's not playing now. You obviously have no Embiid, so it's not really a strong interior presence for either of these teams. And when both of these teams just play games that are strictly predicated on the perimeter, it's going to be a shootout. And it is maybe a little strange to still see it ticking up with, I don't know, weird injury news. So I'm in on that.
Yep, I'm going to wait and see who's playing, who's not before we deploy. But as that total keeps on rising up and we're not seeing any, people being ruled in officially, I'm liking that over. I really am. We got Spicy McNutt resubbing as well, 15 months. Sure, he can, Spicy. Love the name, love the sub. We got Total Slayer coming in hot with a resub as well. Mad Skills resubbing 7 months since I got back into sports betting, doing it the right way this time. Let's go, Mad Skills. Bounce back, my man. Love to see that. Chat is live today. They're active.
That's what we need.
They're sub banging on Monday. They're keeping the vibes up. They want winners, and we got them. Javon, take us to New Orleans.
Yeah, I'm taking the Pelicans minus a lot today against the Raptors, which part of it definitely does predicate on the Raptors. They just played a double overtime game against the Thunder yesterday on the road. I think 3 games in a row on the road, and they're kind of in the middle of it. It's a weird spot, double overtime game, like I said. And these teams, I'm not a huge trends guy. Obviously, we don't talk about it unless it really fits what I'm trying to bet for the game. But there's not many teams in the NBA that have played back-to-back off of overtime games, which the Celtics actually make up a bulk of these numbers. But those teams are 2-9 ATS, which the Celtics, I think, have one of those wins, which was a weird game against like a slightly hurt like Kings team on the road. So again, one of those is the best teams in the league. You look at the worst teams in the league, or at least the middle of the pack teams, which I guess the Raptors could fit. Not many of those teams are performing pretty well in these games. Plus, I think it's a really bad basketball matchup off of that spot too, because everybody knows the Raptors are pretty good inside, not the toughest, threat on the 3-point perimeter. I think they're 20 or 21st in the NBA. And the Pelicans defense is built exactly like that. They are tough on the inside, and they'll give it up from 3. So like, if you're going to take advantage of the Pelicans and their defense, you're going to have to do it from 3, and especially in the spot that the Raptors are in, I don't really trust them to do that. So I think there's a pretty good reason why this line is so large, and I think the Raptors are going to struggle to put the ball in the bet today.
I'm with you. That spread definitely stood out to me as well. Looks a little fat. Happy you put that on the card. Let's roll Pelicans today. Big time win. All right.
Yeah.
Gosh, how about the Celtics last night doing their job as well as the biggest
huge
favorite in NBA history? People were saying that. People were talking about that. I cannot confirm if it's true or not, but largest spread in NBA history.
Largest one this year, I think.
This season? Okay. Yeah. Largest spread of the season. Cash it. Nobody wants to bet this, right? Especially with the Celtics without Jaylen Brown and the Celtics coming off that loss. So great call there, Javon. We did craft up some decent plays for the late nights. Arizona, I don't know what the hell they were doing. They still almost found a way to cover there at the end, and they probably should have. But that and the
W. Shelley live bet the 10.5 landed right on 11 because of that meaningless 3 at the end.
No way.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Holy smokes.
Absolutely nuts.
That is insane. Okay, I'm excited to see what Shelley's got today with hockey back to chat. Make sure you guys check that out. Make sure you guys check out the morning after. If you missed that this morning, you can always go back and rewatch on the YouTube. Go subscribe to that. It takes 3 seconds. I know I got some YouTube chatters in here. Show yourself. Show your face. I want to see a goddamn hand up from a YouTube emote in chats. I know we got Alan holding it down over there. Somebody has got to be in the YouTube. Show yourself. Okay. RedTube gang, let me hear you scream. Let's go, Nightbot. Javon, let me take you to UVA. I'm in. Guys, Javon texted me last night. He said, Krabs, we might have to bet UVA tomorrow, man. Or he said, you might have to bet UVA tomorrow. Because he knows how much I hate that and hate their guts. But you know what? I might hate Miami's guts more. I'm just going to say it. At this point, this team has taken more from me than UVA has over the last couple seasons. Money, financially, just vibes, terrible after beating Virginia Tech every single time we play them. It's like we have a better chance of beating UVA than we do Miami, which I would have never thought was true. They own us and they own me. Okay, chat. So warning here, I am fading Miami again. So be careful out there. They always steal my coins. But I feel better about it laying the ML. Okay, I don't see a world where UVA does not continue this momentum, Javon, that they've continued to build as they slowly and silently and boringly, just like Tony Bennett loves, are climbing up the ACC standings. Okay, and if there's a year they're going to do it and pull off some magic, maybe in the tournament, they're probably not going to catch UNC in the conference standings regular season. But this team just continues to, impress and play better. And they've got young guys who are really stepping up. They've got a couple of shooters who have started to show up consistently, which they need. McNeely, he's an absolute bucket. They've got a couple other guys too. This UVA team is better than people expect, but nobody's talking about it because they're boring and they're not UNC or Duke. Do not sleep on that. And they're going to hand Miami, who, by the way, is very, very average this season. Don't be fooled by that Virginia Tech comeback win. We stink, okay? This Miami team is not like that, all right? And I'm going to be fading Matthew Cleveland in a little bit. We'll talk about that in a moment. But Javon, pairing UVA on the ML as they move from -4 to -5.5. I don't feel like laying it to see them win by 6 personally. So I'm going to pair it with New Orleans, which I'm sure you could get behind as well here, Javon. Let's take a peep at New Orleans. They're playing Houston Christian, formerly Houston Baptist, if you guys don't know who that is. And Houston Christian's coming into New Orleans. They beat them the last time they played. Okay, at Houston Christian as +3 dogs. They beat them outright by 8. Shocker. All right, nobody expected that. But New Orleans, Javon, coming off of 6 straight losses, have not covered in 5 straight games. This team is playing their worst basketball of the season. Before the season, they were projected to be at least middle of the pack in this conference. I still believe in them, at least minimally, and I want to fade Houston Christian, who's already beaten them one time this season. I'm surprised to see this spread this fat with how bad New Orleans has been playing. So that's why I'm going to parlay them with UVA on the ML. I feel very, very confident about New Orleans getting a win here at home and ending that losing streak.
Yeah, I'm in. It's a little cheeky bozo back there. And
yeah, it is.
I'm debating just laying the 6 with UVA, to be honest with you. I don't think anybody wants to lay the 6. I've been it's apparently I've read a couple of places a perfect matchup for Miami. I've seen that multiple times, which sure. That makes sense.
Go Canes, dude. Look, man, yeah. I deserve all the chirps. Okay. And a rare me saying, you know what? W chirp and go about your day instead of roasting you because Cocaine's dude, you own me, and so does Miami. Javon, I'm with you though. Why is everyone, acting like Miami is the team from last season with Isaiah Wong and Cal? I don't understand it. They clearly have not looked as sharp, but they do pull out, good wins, and they've still, hung around. They're still hanging around the ACC. But do you think it's a good matchup? Do you agree with those Twitter sharps?
I don't. That's why I'm confused. Why I've seen those exact words multiple times, and I would feel a little more confident in the Canes if Wooga Poplar was not clearly playing through an injury, and he
is hurt as heck.
He's hurt, and he has no business playing. And that whole situation against the UVA defense on the road is a tough spot to be in, especially when you also consider, what a big home game they have coming up on Saturday. Play UNC. So not that you can ever be in a look-ahead spot playing on the road at Virginia. But if there's any game that you're really looking forward to, it's hosting the top team in the conference at home in a massive, massive game. And that one's going to be a little rested, which I think they need with especially the Wooga Poplar injury that they're dealing with too, because they'll have 5 days between those games. So yeah, I can't say I'm with everybody on Miami today. I'll be on the other side. But I will be with the Nets.
100%. And before you go over the Nets play, which I'm stoked you put that on there because I was looking at that one. No way Golden State loses that game as a short dog on the road to the Brooklyn Nets, right? But the first YouTube chat coming in hot from AJ. Of course, it's fading my Matthew Cleveland angle. Cannot make it up. We'll talk about that one in a moment, though, here. Big shout out to you, gentlemen. Thank you for making Monday mornings better. We got you, Chad. Make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube. I'm sure you already are, though. You're always holding it down over there on the YouTube. And if you guys haven't already, go over there to the YouTubes and subscribe. It takes literally 2 seconds and it's free. Okay. Javon, take me to Brooklyn. Why are they beating the Golden State Warriors tonight?
Yeah, I think this line's sitting at pretty much a pick 'em here. And I will say it's another kind of the spot plays into it play, which I was watching the Warriors game on Saturday, the one that went into double overtime against the Hawks, or overtime against the Hawks. And that team was gassed, like probably more gassed than I think you've seen, or at least I've seen watching an NBA team. It was clear that the road trip had kind of taken a toll on them. Really weird spot. And now they went into overtime. Steph dropped 62. Really, a lot of their shots were coming up short too. So they just looked so ridiculously out of sync in that game. And now they're in the middle of this really weird East Coast road trip where I think it's really tough for them to start to get it together spot wise in these couple of games. And now they have this game against Brooklyn today. And then a day rest before another back-to-back. So it's a really weird spot. And the Nets have been playing, decent basketball, I guess you could say. Just had a really good game against the Sixers. But in this spot, I love especially that I've seen Jonathan Kuminga 7,500 times. Somebody was saying that in chat because the Nets are so soft on the inside. There's no way they're going to be able to recover. It's the one good matchup, I guess you could say, for the Warriors. Sure, whatever you want to say. He's been putting up 75 points a game. So no, surely the Nets can't stop him today. Nick Claxton can't do anything on the inside. Taking the Nets. I think this team is in a really bad spot. The Warriors are, and I think that they're absolutely going to get torched from the outside from the Nets in this game. So Cam Thomas, great game. Nick Claxton, especially good game, which foreshadowed the Prize Picks square on the bottom there. We all know how small the Warriors are on the inside. Jonathan Kuminga has been hot, but that's not going to stop Nick Claxton from absolutely grubbing. So I think he dominates, and the Warriors team is just out of gas right now.
So that line is back to a pick 'em.
Yeah,
I'm seeing right now. I'm trying to find some injury news, see what's going on. But
it's been like flip-flopping between like pick 'em and one, so I'm not really concerned with that.
Definitely some guys questionable. They're not like big name guys. It seems like Steph and Clay are obviously in there, and whoever the heck you want to call the Nets guys, Spencer Dinwiddie is in there. But it's definitely some of the role players. Wiggins is game time. Sark is game time. Not surprised a little bit. So let's see this line settle after some of this injury news.
I think Wiggins is not playing.
Okay.
Pretty sure that's finalized or confirmed. I could be wrong about that though.
Likely to sit out Monday.
Yeah.
Listed as doubtful. So there you go.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean that's a little more work on these guys that are already gassed, which is pretty unfortunate. And you need an athletic kind of 3-guard, 2-guard against the Nets. It's exactly what you need.
Check the Michael Bridges rebound square. We will definitely take a peep at that. We will take a peep at Fade Furphy. Definitely want to take a look at that today, JT, as well, once we get to college basketball. Let's hold the Prize Picks for a second. I promise you guys we'll have time to go over that today and look at some of these nasty squares and fade some of the Prize Picks popular tap squares. Okay, it's probably the perfect day to do that on a limited slate. All right, so we'll peep those. Don't you guys worry. All right, keep those Prize Pick squares in your back pockets. Maybe we'll get to craft up a puppy and see if we can throw together a Geyserman. Bobby Wood 18, button there.
Holy 11 years, damn near $290 million.
Oh, he just got paid.
He got paid.
Oh, say that again.
11 years, 288 roughly million.
Let me do some quick math here. Holy smokes, 290 mil divided by 11 years. He's making 26.5 mil a year. Bobby Witt, counting his guap. Holy smokes. Could this be the Royals season? Look, I've been talking about it. And look, it's not like I'm the only person talking about it. I've seen a lot of people. Sure, give me that damn trophy. A lot of people talking about the Royals, and being a potential sleeper. A lot of people talking about the Tigers being a potential sleeper. I'm so stoked for baseball, guys. We're so freaking close. We got these guys about a report for spring training soon. I was telling Javon and Dave earlier, I cannot wait to craft up Prize Picks gobs on the MLB slate with you guys. I feel like that's where we're at our best on Prize Picks. I know it's more fun probably during football season, right? And I don't blame you, and I don't disagree. It's probably more fun to sweat. But crafting-wise, getting surgical, finding winners, you're not going to find two dudes right here more locked into the MLB slate. So get ready. If you guys weren't with us last year during baseball, you are in for a treat this season. Okay, I'm absolutely stoked. Bobby Witt getting the ball rolling and getting his pockets fat. Good for him. He deserves it.
Yeah,
if you can't tell that kid's going to be a star, you don't know ball. He's an absolute beast. He already is.
So good.
Meat sheet W's. Yes, we need the meat sheets back for MLB. Those were unbelievable. I'm stoked for those. Stoked for those.
Be huge.
All right, Dubs, let's peek back real quick to the Sharp Report. We still have work to do here, gents. Javon just went over the Brooklyn Nets and his Nick Claxton Square W's. Let me take you to Jackson State. All right, let me bring you back to college basketball and kids missing free throws. Okay. Javon, Jackson State probably should not be the favorite here. I know they're home. I know Southern is not great, but you're telling me Southern coming in off of 3 straight wins, 3 straight covers is a dog. And they're 12-9, by the way. They're a dog to 8-13 Jackson State, who's really been struggling. They've lost 4 of their last 5 games. They have not been covering, to say the least, after a great start to the season. They've really fallen off. But I'm willing to bet, looking at this line, the way it's moving in the splits, that Jackson State changes the narrative today and gets a big-time win against Southern, a team who's destroyed them the last 2 times they played them over the last 2 years. Give me Jackson State. This line is weird, and let's cash on it. Let's take advantage of it.
Sure. I'm in. And it's kind of same story, but a little less juicy on your side than taking Alcorn on the other side, which it makes a little bit of sense because I think Alcorn, you see the 5-16 record, and it's not completely representative of like who they are because they were one of those teams, which I guess a lot of the like SWAC and MEAC teams do this, but they went through a super tough non-conference schedule where they played on the road for literally like 2 months in a row. And that's not an exaggeration. Played like 13 or 14 road games in a row, maybe even more than that. So they were getting destroyed in those games, needless to say, even when they weren't playing the better teams out of that, like playing the George Washingtons, of course, and the Northern Iowas, but they also played, the Marylands, the VCUs on the road, and a lot of those teams. So in between that, they're getting murdered. So like now coming back, I think they're a little better than that record signifies when you're comparing them to a couple of the other teams, but can't ignore that they still haven't been all that good in conference play. They have 5 wins. They've been good in certain spots, I guess, when they're sharp, especially at home, because they haven't been good on the road. A lot of teams in that conference really, really struggle when they go on the road, and Grambling's one of them. So now to see them, getting steam up to 3 at home, it kind of seems like a situation we've already seen at Fold in front of our face before, which you were on the right side of there. And I think it's pretty similar. So give me Alcorn at home.
Sure. Love these 2 nasty plays in the mid-majors today, Javon, from us, Jackson State and Alcorn MLs. All right. Look, we can only do so much today. We can't create better games. All right. We got to work with what we got. And those are 2 pretty damn good sell jobs and looks, if you ask me. Okay?
Yeah.
Lauren's asking about that Claxton Square. Can you give her a quick 10-second sell job again?
Claxton Square. Well, the Warriors are very soft on the inside. They don't have size, and the Nets actually they have Claxton, so they're good down there, but they don't necessarily have depth. So how they're going to win this game and control it, especially against a very tired, I guess you could say, Warriors team, is from the inside out. So Claxton is going to grub on the boards, especially, but I think he's going to do his fair share of scoring too. So points and rebounds for me.
Good. Looks like Chad locked in Alcorn last night. So hot right now. Let's go,
Chad.
Let's keep the hot streak going, my man. One more day. Come on, Beast. Kyron, what's up, my man? How we doing? I need Crabs MLB picks like I need air to breathe. Yeah, probably to fade him. But I will say, I definitely was pretty sharp with the prize pick squares for MLB last year. I'll give myself that. We were hitting those. The MLB straight bets, you guys know where to go for this. Okay, you take that puppy right there. I'm absolutely ecstatic to cover baseball. Look, I saw the tweet off of Bucket HQ this morning. What's the best stadium you've been to with the Pittsburgh background? I'm like, Javon, we got to freaking go there, man. We got to go to Pittsburgh.
I want to go there so bad.
I have not been there yet. You have not either, right? And everyone who knows baseball says that's the greatest stadium to go to. The team might stink. The fans might not be there. Who gives a hoot, though? I need to see that goddamn backdrop. Okay, that looks unbelievable. Goots, you with us on that one?
Yeah, me going there in a Ravens jersey. We'll see how that goes. That'd be a good video.
Over under an hour before Goots gets shanked wearing a Ravens jersey in Pittsburgh. Let's see how that one plays out. Gosh, man, we got to get over there, though. straight up. Some people like going on hikes. Some people like nature, Javon. Some people like going outside. I really don't, unless it's for playing golf or going to baseball games outdoors. Those are pretty much the only two things I do outside. And I need to get to Pittsburgh and see PNC Bank. That backdrop on the water, elite. Chad, where else should we go this year for MLB? Let us know. I feel like we got to get Javon to Cincy, or else that's a crime.
That's non-negotiable.
Non-negotiable. Okay. Wrigley was the best. Yeah, we hit that last year. That was awesome. And I know you guys like those food reviews, and me and Javon making content out there. So we're going to hit some games. We're going to hit some series this upcoming MLB season. We're stoked. Okay. We just got to pick our spots and plan that puppy out. Pittsburgh, Cincy, maybe a Padres look. I don't know. We'll talk through it.
San Diego, man. Gotta go.
San Diego's. I know we need to get out there.
Yeah. It's another really good stadium to get to. Go ahead.
Yeah. 100%. I need to hit all those Cali stadiums, Javon. I haven't hit any of them.
Really?
None. Zip. San Diego Goods. Yeah, he's down. Royals. I mean, look, if the Royals start gaining some steam here and get off to a nice start, we might have to make a Royals Detroit trip.
Dude,
and that trophies, might be crazy.
Live trophy team total over would be crazy.
I made it a mission to see Shohei last year in Baltimore. I need to see Bobby Witt. I'm making that a mission this year.
There we go.
Don't need that, dude.
Need that.
Don't compare Shohei to Bobby.
Well, I mean, it's just, I already saw Shohei, and now I got to see Bobby Witt. Come on.
Bobby Witt. All right, let's move. Let's groove. Let me take you back to CDD. All right, this might be my favorite play of the day. So take a screenshot of it, circle it, chat. All right. And look, I know I was roasting Kansas State this weekend, and for good reason. They stink. All right. That doesn't matter. That doesn't mean we can't bet on them today. If anything, that means I want to bet on them more. Okay. They are frauds. Don't get me wrong, Javon. And we're going to learn how fraudulent they really are against this Kansas team today, because if they can't come through and cover in this spot, they can't come through and cover in any spot. All right. Kansas starting to gain steam. We're hearing for the first time all season after that Houston win, that Kansas might be that team again in this conference. And Kansas got zero respect and zero gas all year, probably deservedly so, because they did not look as electric, right? We've seen them win a natty recently. It's recency bias. You want to see Christian Braun on that team again, dominating, and we haven't seen that team look as good this season, right? But they're starting to rip off some pretty impressive wins. And even me with the Houston ticket, I'll say that Kansas win was a good one. And they shot almost 70% in that game. The people are starting to talk about Kansas, chat, and you know what that means we have to do. This is when we fade this squad on the road and sell as high as they've been all season, and back the Wildcats, who have come in on a 4-game losing streak. They haven't covered in a month. If they can't freaking win or cover this game, season's over. All right, this Kansas State team's fraudulent. They've got enough pieces to keep this one close. They have plenty of offensive firepower to outscore Kansas. All right, all they got to do is play a little bit of defense. And I have a feeling, looking at that spread, the way it's moving, Javon, down to 4 some places, that they're going to do just that. Give me Kansas State. Give me the Wildcats. They take care of business and keep this one within the number this afternoon or tonight.
I'm with you. And I got to say, coming off of some of the, a couple of the most embarrassing offensive performances they've had in a while. I know Kansas is involved, and they've been scoring just fine recently, but 142.5 up to 145. Not that doesn't mean Kansas isn't going to score too, but for a Kansas State team that we've seen their offense the last 2 weeks or so, it's pretty important. So
yeah,
maybe
that could be a good sign for the Wildcats, right?
Be a great sign.
Look, they're probably not going to win this game if it goes under, or cover this game if it goes under. They probably have to outscore and outshoot and just outperform Kansas on the offensive end. All they got to do, though, is play a little bit of defense. All right, Kansas is going to be coming in this game with Hunter Dickinson leading the way, feeling like they're LeBron and the Lakers, right? All Kansas State has to do is their jobs, play a little bit of defense. And with this total moving up, it's looking like it's not going to be a low-scoring game anyways. Give me Kansas State to do what they haven't done the last 2 weeks, Javon, and that's put the ball in the goddamn hoop. Plain and simple. Kaluma, I'm asking for you, brother. It's time for you to wake the fuck up. Kaluma, you were a stud the first month and a half of the season. Where have you been, my man? It's time for you to shine. Tyler Perry, we've seen him go off the last 2 games. All right, it hasn't helped Kansas State get a win, but we've finally seen Tyler Perry. I know Lauren's talking about him in chat. We've seen him get activated the last 2 games. Javon, who do you think it's going to be for Kansas State going off today? If it's going to be anybody, they got a couple prize pick squares up there.
They do, and that's a pretty good question. I don't know. We can talk to that in a little bit. I haven't really looked through, but I can tell you who I certainly don't trust, and it's Tyler Perry. So anybody else? Anybody else?
Okay. All right. So we'll talk about that in a little bit when we do prize picks. And I know Kansas just shot 80%. Give me Kansas State money line. Have to fade Kansas when they're on cloud 9 coming off their best game of the season. It's a mandatory tail. All right. Whether you think Kansas State is good or not, guys, I don't think they're good. That doesn't mean we don't bet them today. We don't have a choice. All right. Give me the Wildcats. They might win this game outright. Javon, haven't said this in a while. I've been excited to because you've been printing this whole season. Take us to the ice. What do you like today in hockey? We're so back, Chad. I know we're fucking stoked. We got hockey heads in here. What do we like in the ice today, Javon?
Yeah, well, I'll say this. I said the games are tricky, so it's not my favorite. I'll say that. It's kind of here it's a little bit more of a dartboard play because I just want action, but I want the Islanders, which I don't love betting against a team who is just hosting the All-Star break because they've been there. There's no travel involved. It's a little weird of a situation, but when they come out of the break, a lot of these games get very weird and they get sloppy coming out of the break, which the one thing with the Islanders, even though I don't think they've won a game since the first game after they fired their coach, I think they went 0-3 after those games. The one thing they have done is pretty consistently had the puck controlled in their offensive zone for really the entire game. So they tilted the ice, put in simple terms. So in a game where I think it's going to be really, really weird, especially with Samsonov in net, and a couple key mistakes in your own defensive zone can kind of mess the game up for a team. I want the plus 140-ish side in the Islanders going against the Leafs team who's riding high after a couple wins against the Jets before the All-Star break. Now you have Samsonov in net, of course, and you're going to have an Islanders team that's done well at dominating puck possession in the offensive zone. So if there's any fluke shit that's going to happen in this game, again, I want my coin on the side that dominates possession. They're plus 140. It's a Leafs team that always lets you down in spots like this. And truthfully, I think the other game is going to go a little square. So I want the, I guess they're both dogs, but I want the dog side in this game.
Okay. Interesting. Going with the Islanders. And if you're saying the other game, you think it's going to get a little bit more square, does that mean it's going to be the Avalanche winning that game? What do you mean by that?
So, yeah, that's kind of what I think, but I'm not going to bet it. And you want to know why? Because you know what the Avs are doing the next 2 days?
What are they doing?
They're at the Rangers tonight, and they're at the Devils tomorrow night. So New York, New Jersey.
Up there? Okay.
Yeah. The problem is I don't like it tonight, so I have to bet the Rangers just out of principle, but I don't think that's a winner. But in my heart of hearts, I do think they're losing tomorrow. But I have to bet the Rangers today, unfortunately, and I don't think that's hitting, but I'll take the Isles.
Jaden, no. I hate how much I kind of agree. That scares me because both those teams are as fraudulent as you get. But we don't have a choice, Jaden. We have to play Kansas State plus 4.5 in this spot. All right, it's the best spot of the day in college basketball. We don't have a choice. All right. Let me take you to Matthew Cleveland. Excuse me. Back to UVA and Miami, Javon. Matthew Cleveland's been all over the place. All right. He drops, 15, 16, 20, whatever the hell it is, or he drops a goose egg. And I'm willing to bet that pattern continues here as he heads to the road to take on UVA, Javon, in this spot. I'm just not a big Matthew Cleveland guy in this offense. And if anything, I think it's going to be the Norchad Omier day. And if Miami wants a single chance, they're going to have to work the ball inside and in the paint with their big man. And if you look at his prize picks charts, it's not going to make you want to take him. So I ended up taking a fade on Matthew Cleveland, a guy who I don't see getting double-digit points against this UVA defense. Not saying this game doesn't go over. I would not be surprised if it goes over because the total has moved up a little bit. And anytime the UVA total moves up, it catches my eye. But I don't think the offense and the points are going to be coming from Miami. All right, coming off that comeback against my Hokies over the weekend. Look, Javon, you and me probably could have pulled off that comeback against the Hokies the way they were shooting at the end of the game. Nothing special. Miami coming in fat, happy, and complacent, thinking they're back. My UVA is actually playing the best out of anybody in the ACC right this second. Nobody's talking about it. They're boring, and they're going to show that with defense once again today and strap up Cleveland. He ain't scoring 12.
Sure. My man, got to fade something in that game. I don't have a problem with that.
Yep.
Yeah, and I've already talked about Claxton, so won't harp on that too much, but he's going to destroy the Warriors in the paint today. Everybody's on Jonathan Kuminga. He's on the come bucket for I don't know any other reason than the fact that he's been ridiculously hot and the usage has been sky high over the past couple of games, week, 2 weeks, whatever it may be. You're forgetting about the other side. Draymond, I don't think played in the first matchup that they had against the Nets, but Claxton did feast in that game. Now it's going to be a little different. But I think the same principles still stand. Dominate the paint, double machine. He's going to grub, especially with some tired legs, especially in the paint that you're going to be seeing. And what we did see from the Warriors in that game against the Hawks, a lot of three-point shooting. That's what a tired team does, and a lot of them coming up short. So Claxton, I mean, guess who's getting boards? Because I can tell you it ain't going to be the Warriors.
Sheesh.
Claxton
dunk square.
Did he just get taken off like in front of our eyes?
The points and rebounds?
Yeah, because unless it just skipped, because I didn't click none.
Search it again, see if it comes up.
Goots.
Yeah. Oh, it's still there.
It's still
No,
there?
it's still there.
Okay.
All right.
Not bumped or anything. That's
There we
weird.
go. There we go. Need that.
Javon, looks like we have a big applying for the rec. Averaging 14, 18, 7, dropping his stat line, and 2 blocks. Wow.
I mean,
holy smokes.
If we don't have Blake Snell or Kish tonight, we might have to get active.
I'm down to run it tonight.
Yeah, we got
a
short slate. Yeah.
A little bit of Kansas State, and then maybe play some 2K tonight. Fire up the rack.
Might have to.
I would love to see Kish get a rebound too, like bounce back. You know, he really disappointed the other game, coming off kind of like Matthew Cleveland, right? You know, you have a nice performance. People think you're back. You know, people expect a lot from you, right? They've seen what you can do and what you're capable of, but it's just letdown after letdown. Kish, man, if you're out there, we need to see you tonight. We need to see you in your prime. All right, we need to see center Kish because that guard wasn't working, and we need to see a bounce back. Plain and simple. All right, I still believe in him. I do still believe in Kish. I think we can get some W's there tonight in the rack. All right. Bro, me, Goots, and Javon tried running with randoms. Funny as shit. They actually played worse than Yap. Okay, that makes me feel better, Doga.
Shockingly worse than Yap.
Yeah, it was terrible.
It was awful.
Oh, man.
So bad.
Yapton's 10-day just expired. He has been dropped to waivers. Oh, no.
Wow.
Oh, no. Is Yap out? We'll have to see tonight, folks. We'll see if they can re-sign him before the game. All right. Interesting Michael Bridges square there. Interesting.
That's
all right. Which of the specials are we fading today? Kyle, that's a good question. We'll get to that here in a moment. All right. Javon, look, the NHL is back. We already talked a little bit about the Islanders. You talked a little bit about your system in the next game. Any angles on totals in hockey today? Any angles you have coming out of the All-Star break for how to target these games, how they typically play out? I know there's only 2. You said they're tricky. All right, chat. No bankroll bobs, no nukes today with only 2 weird games going on. But any advice you got, Javon, for coming out of the All-Star break and how these games typically go?
Yeah, I mean, they're usually sloppy, which you could look at it some angles and say, well, that means it's going to be high scoring because there's a lot of really bad turnovers in your own defensive zone. Or you could say that teams just aren't going to be able to finish. So I guess a lot of people are probably not going to need much convincing to take either over in these games because – I don't know, the Avs are involved where everybody wants to take every over. You do have Quick in net for the Rangers, which is, I don't know, that maybe makes people a little more confident in the Rangers because Igor has been absolutely terrible. But in the other game, I mean, the Isles game, I like the Isles, but I also like the over. That's the game where I think it's going to be really fluky with a lot of odd man rushes and a lot of, I don't know, fortunate puck luck for both these offenses, hopefully more so the Islanders and the Leafs. So I think that's probably the more high scoring game than the other side, but I really don't mind goals in either game.
Interesting Chad Nug about Kansas. Since 2015, when they're on the road, it's -3 or more faves. After a win versus a top 15 opponent, they're 18-16 ATS. Well, I was hoping to see a weirder number there, but seems like they're hovering around 500. All right.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a great number for Kansas if you think about it.
Yeah, I was hoping it'd be weirder, but interesting. Would not have thought that in 100 years. I guess that's a good point. It is Kansas, right? And that doesn't take into effect or into account who their opponent is in that next game too. So it could be anybody. It could be a new shit team.
Dude, I gotta tell you, Krabs, while we're kind of circling back to that game, the more I look at that total, man, that's probably my favorite play in the game. I know Kansas just absolutely shot the lights out against Houston, which not many teams could say, but as the spread's getting a little shorter and Kansas State really can't score to save their lives, they put up, 70 once in the past 3 weeks or something?
Mm-hmm.
That 2.5 move, the money's taking you there. That's interesting.
Yeah, definitely liking that over. Definitely liking points, and that for sure correlates with Kansas State in that spot. So let's hope that those points are coming from the freaking Wildcats. because I'm already all in on the plus 4.5. I'm in.
Yeah.
Hunter Dickinson point square. I don't know about that one. Headshots. I don't know. Vontaze Burfict is on Trent's TikTok right now. That's a geek.
Yeah. Unbelievable. I don't know. You can not take Hunter Dickinson today. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. Auto tail.
I don't know if it's auto tail because I feel like anytime I take Hunter Dickinson, it's an auto 2,000 5 minutes. But if there's going to be a free-flowing little level of points in that game, that's easily the biggest matchup advantage that there is. Hunter Dickinson against Guessing or really anybody they switch him on the inside. He will not be able to guard anything.
Barbecue chicken alert.
This
barbecue chicken alert.
Yeah. This is the makings of a square that I feel like you would fade is Johnny Furphy in the popular.
Yeah, he's hurt us before though, Goods, and he's hurt us bad. Plain and simple. Man, I thought I was sharp as a tack, giving that out for the 5 guys last weekend or 2 weekends ago, whenever that was, and he proved me wrong. Now, Goods, don't let me discourage you here. I'm 100% in and down to fade him. Don't get me wrong. I'm just letting you know he has been balling recently.
Oh, I know.
Probably the name. Yeah, that's the name you're going to be hearing talked about the most pregame. Not Hunter Dickinson. Not whatever the fuck his name is, Kevin McCullough. It's going to be Johnny Furphy. Okay, this kid has been their best player recently.
Yeah. The only reason you just can't fade him is because really he's like they don't have a guy other than Dickinson and McCullough. It's just always a bucket here, a bucket there, and lately he's been the guy. So like they don't have a choice but to let him cook. And if there's going to be points,
you want no business in fading Furphy today.
No, I want him to trail off a little more than try and catch the falling knife with his little hot streak. It'll fall off at some point, but right now I'm not fading.
All right, I'll stay off.
All right, he's balling. I agree. All right, Dubs. We went over the sharp report already, Javon, and before we hop into some prize picks, wanted to show the people some crazy games we have this week in college basketball. Put it on some people's radar here. Because, this could help as we try to dissect these lines, on game day coming up. We've got Kansas State tonight, obviously. Wednesday, looks like we have Alabama, Auburn. That's going to be fucking crazy, Javon. Illinois, Michigan State somehow made it on here. I guess that's a pretty good game. It'll probably be a weird, close game. Looking to probably take the Spartans there, unfortunately, in that spot. Baylor, Kansas. Oof. Javon, did you catch that Baylor game over this weekend and see how insanely officiated that game was and how much they fucked it up?
Yeah, that was crazy. That was insane. I mean,
I've never seen worse refs in my entire life.
Yeah, Baylor. It would have been a shame if they lost that game because
I would have.
The refs had Iowa State meat down their throats for that entire second half, really, which was kind of tough. I'm glad they didn't get that shot off.
First time we've seen Coach Drew ever ejected. And he said, I'm calling up the fucking conference. This is an issue. These guys are bozos. And I don't blame them. That's crazy. Good to see Baylor, though, stepping up and getting a big-time win. But I've never seen a coach get ejected for this.
Crazy.
I've never seen a coach get ejected for this in my life.
Dude, the coaches go outside the coaching box all the time. Literally all the time.
You're telling me the ref coming over from the baseline is the one who called it, too. I don't understand it.
Crazy.
The weirdest thing I've ever seen, the weirdest officiated game I've ever seen. The Baylor crowd kept the team in it. Shout out Baylor in that new arena. They won them that game. Straight up. They kept them in it. So very, very impressive win by Baylor. But that was the worst officiated game I've ever witnessed in my entire life. Straight up. Gosh, wild. Let's go back to that graphic with all the good games this week. Gonzaga at Kentucky. Gonzaga stinks, man. It's really sad. I wish Graham Ike was good. I wish I could gas up that team, but I just can't right now. Boise, Utah State will be a great late night game, I'm sure, Javon. Tennessee, Texas, sure. Nebraska, Northwestern. There could be some points in that game. Any of these catching your eye? Are you looking forward to betting any of these?
I don't care what the total is for Gonzaga, Kentucky. I'm taking the over.
Ooh.
I really don't. That's going to be – I don't know how high they're going to make it. It's going to be high. It's probably the squarest over maybe of the season, and it's going over. I will lock in that bet no matter what. But, what an underrated game I think is not on this list that I'm going to make my next little week-long Big 12 prediction here because shout out TCU Texas. That was the most predictable loss I think I've ever seen in my lifetime. Oklahoma, they host BYU to start the week. I think that's going to be a really good game. And between the BYU game and they host Oklahoma State in a Bedlam game of the weekend, they're losing one of those two games. They're going to be favorites in both of them, both at home. So I will be taking on the ML a little BYU and, if needed, an Oklahoma State too, which that one would be even crazier. So they're losing one of these games at home, needless to say. But I think that BYU game is going to be awesome.
Back in Mia Khalifa's step route for the first time in a while.
Yeah.
Hopefully he can get out of his little slump. They need it.
Yeah, that'd be huge. They need that.
All right. I love that angle. Let's see if you can go 2 for 2 with these look-ahead 2 pieces. All right. We'll circle back to this. We got hella follows coming in as well. We got Big Stir. We got 777. We got K-Mess, Sitting Bull, Daddy Chives, King Buckaroo. Appreciate you guys coming in, probably from Trent's TikTok. If you're in here for the first time, stay a while, drop a follow. We go live every single day. We start out with the morning after and Mikey Overs. Then we do BTL, which you're watching right now. And then Trent takes us home for Surge Stream right after this. Okay, so stick around. We're not stopping. The stream continues all afternoon. We appreciate you guys' support. All right. Usually don't happen that way for the clones. Was crazy. Yeah, I'm with you. It was weird to watch. It really was. What's the 10th game down there, Goots? Are we missing something cool here? Providence at Butler.
Dude, how did that game make the list?
I don't know. I mean, it is 10th.
Both those games on the bottom, man. What are we doing?
16 points in the first half for Providence.
Yeah, how about Tyler Burton going off too for Villanova? Villanova woke up last night.
I mean, they needed to make like 2 buckets.
That's true. Yeah, they didn't have to do much.
Providence, that was somehow like I didn't think within a singular week we could get a performance worse than the one we watched Kansas State have at home against Oklahoma, but we did. And that was embarrassing. That was awful.
Yep. And the first time I haven't bet Nova in a while in a sharp spot, they come through and look like the 2015 Warriors.
I bet. Texas A&M, that's I'm staring at that game.
Tennessee, Texas A&M. That might be the best game of the week. Straight up.
I mean, Texas A&M, they had, which I took his points, so I was an absolute moose piss, but Wade Taylor foul trouble in the game against Florida. Then he got hurt. Then he was shooting tour dates when he came back from being hurt and in foul trouble. Tyrese Radford, I don't know how he played in the game, but he was good. Then he got pressured and got in a little foul trouble. Then that was the sloppiest game of all time. That was literally everything possible went wrong for them, and they still found a way to win the game. So, like,
heart,
and also like Florida is just so incapable of closing a game. They have so much talent and just can never finish a game, even when they play a team that is as terrible at shooting free throws as they are, which whole different discussion. But Texas A&M is certainly getting my attention. That game's going to be cool too. I would we'll probably have to be on the Aggies, whatever the line is.
100%. That's my sleeper pick to make some noise in the tourney. If they can figure out how to put the ball in hoop a little bit more, I'd love to see Buzz Williams and Tyrese Radford make one more run. People forget Tyrese Radford is like my age, and he was a VT when I was there. I still stand with Tyrese Radford, no matter what's going on off the courts. I still stand with Tyrese, and I do see them getting a big-time win against Tennessee this week, keeping that momentum flowing. I'm with you. All right. W games coming up this week. Not the greatest slates. Okay. People are probably expecting some better looks here, but wanted to put these spots on notice for you guys, chats, because there are some pretty good games coming up this week, including Tennessee and A&M. All right.
That list kind of sells it short, bro.
Yeah. I mean, there's mid-majors. Like, we could probably make a better list than that on Mondays going forward.
Dude, even like the Saturday games, I was just looking through like the games that are not on this list, which TCU Iowa State is Saturday. It's ranked versus ranked. UNC Miami is not on the list on Saturday. Like, you got to be better. You got to be so much better.
Ooh, looks like the Warriors are a favorite now. Interesting.
I'm not really concerned.
Okay. That line is moving and grooving like no other. We'll see where it ends up and slows down. Okay. Dubs, we went over, the crazy games for this week, I guess you could call it, from this graphic. We have not talked about the worst thing I saw today, though, Javon, and this needs to be talked about real quick before we go over the rest of the college basketball games. Trust me, Chad, we got plenty of time, not that many. This is an interesting comment, I thought, from Armando Bacot. At the end of the day, the ACC runs through me. Does it, Armando Bacot? Does the ACC run through you, or are you just living on cloud nine after a pretty good start to the season? I'll give you that. All right, you just beat Duke and all their freshmen on the roads who still cannot win a game on the roads. That's pretty clear. Sure, you've beaten the rest of the ACC besides Georgia Tech, in an insane down year, right? And no, Goots, this might surprise you, but the ACC does not run through Lynn Kidd. It's actually apparently Armando Bacot. All right. This rubbed me the wrong way a little bit. I'll be honest with you. What does Armando Bacot think he's done for UNC compared to all the other legends who actually won games that mattered? I don't know. He hasn't done anything. And we could show you guys some of these tweets, some people doing the work for me, going over this, and obviously roasting Bacot here. UNC, number of titles, right? When Bacot's been there, 0. Their seeds during his time here, right? They literally missed the tournament last year when they were preseason ranked number 1 for the first time ever. So the fact that he's saying that quote after that happened, to me, makes my brain hurt. And I'm a little bit confused because that was one of the biggest choke jobs in college basketball history. And then you win some regular season games and act like you're back. I just don't get it. The best seed you've ever gotten in a tournament is an 8 seed. Your record against Duke is now back to 500. Congratulations. And UNC's had better teams than Duke over the last 4 years as well. So I'm a little bit confused. I think Armando Bacot probably has to win a postseason game or do something for the actual College of North Carolina and not just lead that team in points or whatever, to be, running the ACC through him. I don't know, Javon. This just rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah, I mean, it would be cool if Caleb Love said it because he's the one who's backpacking that team right now. But I mean, Armando Bacot had a really good game against Duke, obviously, which shout out for him. That's a good performance in a big rivalry game. But before that, he had 19 points in the last 3 games. So let's be realistic here. That quote is surely not going to end well, whether it's in the regular season or the tournament. And yeah, Harrison Ingram was also, if he would have said that after the game that he had, that would have been, or the couple of games that he's really had last handful of weeks, then that would have been a little cooler. But Bacot's been disappointing, and I don't think anybody can really argue that. So, I mean, if you said the tournament would run through, North Carolina, sure, that would have been cool. But runs through me, man, with as mid as you've been playing this season, let's chill out. He
hasn't done anything.
Let's chill out.
I don't get it. If anything, that team runs through Cormac Ryan hitting clutch threes. I don't understand.
That team, it's been Caleb Love, or not Caleb Love, tripping, but
definitely not Caleb Love. RJ Davis.
RJ Davis is what I meant to say. It's been RJ Davis, it's been Harrison Ingram, and then it's been X, which really a lot of that time X has been Cormac Ryan in the big spots, and Bacot's been Ghost. So I don't really know what you want from the dude. You can't be putting up in a crucial road game that you have against a smaller team and a weaker team in Georgia Tech. That was just, people forget that game just happened. He put up 9 points and he was Ghost for 95% of that game. So put the load on RJ Davis's shoulders, because they have. And Harrison Ingram has literally been Dennis Rodman. So I don't know, Bacot's got to step his game up if he wants to talk like this.
Offensively, for sure. I agree.
Yeah, at least offensively, yeah.
Look, Javon, a lot of people are making comparisons with this UNC team, calling them the Michigan of college basketball this year, saying after, a huge letdown that they're going to go on a crazy tirade and they're not going to stop until they get a national championship. Maybe they will. Okay, we'll have to see that first. Let's see if they can actually win, an ACC tournament or compete in that. So let's see if they can get to the end of the season looking this sharp. We'll see. I still think they have a lot to prove. But right now, UNC is plus 1,300 to win the national championship, Javon. And people are acting like they're plus 100. So keep that in mind. We'll see how it plays out. All right. Maybe they are the Michigan of this season. Maybe they will not be stopped until they win a natty after being the first team ever last season to be preseason ranked number 1 and not make a tournament. We'll see. All right. But in my eyes, Bacot has to do a little bit more to be talking like he owns the ACC. All right. Let's hop back into today's plays. We've got a couple CBB angles we can go over. A lot of them will be what we already talked about in the Sharp Report. So if you guys missed that, you can always go back, rewatch the Sharp Report about 15 minutes in once we post it on the YouTube and the Twitch right after BTL. Okay, if you want to go back and rewatch those sell jobs, please feel free and drop a like on those puppies. Okay. Javon, we talked about Miami and UVA already a little bit. You're thinking about laying it with the spread, though. Can you go over that?
It's just because, I'm looking at this game and, I guess I have maybe a soft spot for UVA, at least basketball-wise, probably more than most. But I'm looking at this game and I see Miami +6, which even if you think UVA is going to win this game, the way their offense has looked, even when they're at home and their defense is a little better, I would say if you're looking at the board in a vacuum, Miami +6 looks like one of the easiest plays I've seen in all of college basketball this year. So that's the only reason why I'm considering laying at the 6. I'll definitely be on a side with you laying in an ML parlay as well. I got to figure out what I'm pairing with it. But that +6 is ridiculous. Even with like UVA's defense has been great at home. They've been dominant at home, but the offense against any team who can even somewhat score, you think, okay, they can win, but it's not going to be by 7 or 6 or anything more than that. Insane to see them -6. And I can guarantee you that's exactly why everybody's taking them today. And I've seen it a lot already. So have fun with that.
All right. Looks like they're that curse -112 on Green Book as well. UVA ML seems like the easiest parlay piece, in my opinion. Interesting counter there from DeGen.
They've been hot, but nobody loves betting on UVA. Nobody really likes it at all. It's just like, I don't know. I gotta disagree with that.
The splits are saying Miami's pretty public for a dog. They're getting a little bit more than 50% of the bets in handle on the spread skis. And for a dog, that's definitely public. But we'll see how it plays out. I think I lean more with Javon. I get what DeGen is saying in chat. Sure, UVA ML, that's been a good parlay piece for the last 10 years under Tony Bennett. Give me a break. But Miami's a public team. And Miami coming off that win last weekend, Miami has all these big-name guys. I haven't heard a single person talk about UVA being good besides Javon this season, to be honest with you. And they're playing the best basketball of the year. So let's see if Tony Bennett can get another win at home. I wouldn't say that's, either side is really that sharp or square, to be honest with you. I think it's more just basketball brain in this spot.
Yeah, fair.
All right. Any Sela bets or incarnate words? I got nothing there.
Dude, if Sela didn't just beat McNeese, which shout out McNeese, that was their first conference loss over the weekend, this is a ridiculously fat line. But I can't really tell if it's just because they just beat the best team that we've seen in that conference for I don't know how many years or what, but -7 even for them at home seems ridiculous. So I think it's going to go one of two ways. They're going to win by 15 or they're going to lose outright. So I'm probably not betting it, but I'd definitely lean Sela with the points.
Okay. What about Morgan State and NC Central? Anything there?
Not much. We'll say like NC Central. They're really good at home. They always have been, but they usually don't get a lot of line respect. Like a lot of these games are usually very short and very close. Like you'll see 3, 4, 5, even like at most. So see 8.5 just from a person who hasn't really been paying too much attention to them this year. It's a little surprising to see at first glance.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. It's not going to play it though. Can we go down in the McNeese game if it's close? I want to get your thoughts on them bouncing back. We already talked about New Orleans chat. That's a great looking parlay piece on the ML. Or if you're not, about a parlay life, right, you can take that on the spread. I do think they cover. I think that spread is pretty fat, but definitely going to be looking to take that. Javon, any thoughts on McNeese bouncing back after their first L in conference here?
The only reason I'm not playing McNeese is because, which it's not like new news necessarily, but like Texas A&M Commerce is playing without their best player, which has been, I think, 2 weeks. So like, again, it's not like you're buying good news with the line necessarily, but like the last time they played where it was close, like Jerome Brewer was playing and he dropped like 32. And without that, like I don't know how they're going to score. This is also like 2 of the slower teams in the conference. So like I can guarantee you with no Brewer that Commerce is probably going to slow it down even more, but they're also going to turn the ball over a shit ton. So I definitely lean with McNeese bouncing back with a huge win. I just don't want to take it with all that said.
Javon, peep the new Prize Picks tweets. Looks like Claxton made the graphic. Oh no. Okay, Goods.
Shit. That means he's scoring. It's
like
Nurkic yesterday.
Okay. Could be. Looks like South Carolina State's line is really moving. Yeah, I mean, they are playing Coppin State, who is absolutely atrocious. Literally the team I used to share my baseball stadium with in high school. They are not great at sports, unfortunately. And although that line is moving up to 10.5, I want no business fading or taking any bets in that game, to be honest with you. Sure, they'll probably win and cover, but there's going to be one of these nasty spots coming up that Coppin State just probably wins outright and hangs around. So I'm out on that game. Let's keep moving to some of the later ones. New Orleans, already talked about them. Great moneyline parlay piece with UVA. McNeese, Javon just talked about a little bit. Not loving it enough to play. Kansas State's we like. What about Alcorn? You're on them as well on the ML?
Yeah. Okay. That ML's gotten fat with no real like line movement from like the 2.5, 3.
What were you seeing earlier? Do you remember?
I was seeing like 150. And the line hasn't really budged. Like the money line's budged, but still like 2.5, 3.
Has the total moved down a bunch?
I
don't think so.
No, it's at the same place it opened.
Weird. I mean, that is a fat, juicy ML for
minus 170 for
I don't know what's up with that.
2.5.
Huh. I mean, let me see if they're getting hella bets on them. Maybe they're overexposed.
I mean, they probably are a little public, I would think, but
I mean, their splits are about as sharp as they get on the spread, Javon. 43% of bets, 82% of handle on the spreads. The ML, though, I mean, they're getting less than 50% of bets in handle, barely. But you could actually say Grambling is public on the ML. So that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Huh.
Yeah, minus 170 is fat.
That is a fat ML. What is good with that? It's like they're trying to outprice us and not get us to bet.
Yeah, they don't want us to bet Alcorn money line today.
Huh. So Alcorn wins by 2? Already seen
Probably
it?
Probably do.
Oh. All right. So that just might have to be a 1.5. You guys are on the ML. Not overthinking it, not trying to get cute. I'm just taking a winner. All right, guys. When the board is speaking to us, you got to listen. That's all you got to do. You don't got to do anything special. Just listen. And when you see a minus 170 ML and a minus 2.5 spread that was minus 150 earlier, that's the sports books talking to you. All right. That's them saying, hey, this Alcorn team is probably going to win. It might not be by 3 or more, but we don't want anybody betting on that. And the splits look sharp to back it up as well. So let's go ahead and lay it with Alcorn 1.5U on the ML, or maybe parlaying it with something super juicy. But I think I'm going to go with the former and just lay it with the ML straight bet.
Yep.
Kansas State, Javon, we talked about that over moving up a little bit. I think my favorite play of the day is Kansas State spreads. I don't like seeing their minus 112 there on the spread, but that line has been moving a lot. So we'll see where it closes. You're liking the over a little bit more though right now, huh?
Yeah, I'm going to keep an eye on that line. I don't know that I'm there yet, but a 2.5 point move up for, like, I know Kansas shot the lights out, so maybe it makes a little more sense for them, but they're still on the road where they haven't really been all that good this season, and we've seen Kansas State embarrass themselves a couple times the last couple weeks offensively.
Right.
So that catches my eye a lot, and if that continues to at least stay put and not drop back down, I will surely have units on that.
All right. You heard it here first, chats. Could be 2 plays in that game. All right. Let's go to Southern and Jackson State, unless you have a Sac State angle.
I don't.
Okay. We talked about this one a little bit. Another team I want to lay the juice on the ML with in Jackson State here, trying to bounce back, chat. If you missed us talking about it earlier, they're playing a Southern squad who is 12-9, a Southern team who is nothing special, but, coming off of 3 straight wins, 3 straight covers. I'm a little bit confused as to why Jackson State, who has really struggled recently, is the favorite here. And the splits look sharp as attack as well. So I'm going to be taking Jackson State at home on the money line. One of my favorite college basketball straight bets of the day.
I'm in. I'll be tailing that.
Any angles on Eastern Washington and Portland State? I wanted to, and we could talk through it a little bit and see if anything pops up. But Eastern Washington opened up minus 3.5. They're minus 5, minus 5.5, depends on where you're looking. But they do historically own this Portland State team. They've beaten them the last million times they played. I can't remember the last time Portland State's beaten them. But Portland State's starting to play pretty good. And this is actually a pretty solid Portland State team. They're coming off of 3 straight wins. And they can win in a couple of different ways. I mean, we're looking at what they did in Montana State. They put up a 94-piece and won. And then the next week against that defensive-minded, slow Sacramento State team, they won 58-51. So we like betting on diverse teams that can win multiple different types of ways. And this Eastern Washington squad has some bad losses on their season already. They're not like that. They're not typically as dominant as they are in this conference. I wouldn't be surprised, even with the line move, if Portland State finally gets a dub against Eastern Washington here at home. I think that might be a good look for like a half UML sprinkle.
Could see that. They did absolutely beat the piss out of them first time they played. Won by 34, if my math's right. The one thing that scares me, even for a game that did just kind of happen and went completely the opposite way, I hate betting on line moves probably more than a point against teams who are like really dominant at home. So like Portland State, I think they're double check 8-1 at home so far this season, and not that they've played the Eastern Washingtons of the world at home, but a move up from 3.5 up to 5 against a team who's been that good at home definitely scares me a little bit. So I'm off. Definitely lean with Portland State keeping it close though.
Okay. All right. Chat, the college basketball slate today. Look, it's nothing special. It's not pretty. That doesn't mean there's not winners on there. Okay, we'll post the sharp reports. A lot of CBB plays on that graphic on the Book of BTL tweet. So stay posted. All right. Let's move. You want to go to the NBA really quick?
Sure.
Dubs, let's hop to the association. Let's see if we can find some winners. I know we already had some plays from the sharp report on here. I went with the Dallas and Philly over, and it seems like it's still moving up. Gosh, it keeps on going. That's crazy. Javon, you had the Nets, and looks like they're back to a pick 'em right now. What other NBA looks were you giving here today?
Pelicans is probably my favorite, up at minus 11.5 a bit. Definitely my favorite look on the card so far.
Yep. I'm with you on that. Laying it there with New Orleans at home. Okay.
Yeah.
Any prize pick squares besides the Claxton angle?
None that I really love. I will say, I just have to say it. We had a secret. Me and Shelly crafted a demon slip on Saturday, and the one guy to sell it went 3 of 4, and it was Clay because he shot 2 of 13 from 3. He has a regular 3 square up now, which means that's a little shorter juice wise, but he also has a 5.5 demon, which is interesting because the demon when we took it was 4.5 and he shot toward 8s. So I just have to say that. In my heart of hearts, I think he's going to do something today, but I cannot put my units on Klay Thompson.
Goats are muted, as always, Trent, but
unreal.
Tense. I was saying, do not go back to him.
I don't know if I want to, especially since I will have a Nets ticket, but
that was the most surgical entry, dude. I didn't place it, but Shelly was sweating it out, and so I was just like tapped in on it. Yeah, that shit almost fucking paid Shelly $18,000.
That was crazy, bro. Yeah, we were almost Jeffrey, dude. Oh, almost Jeffrey.
Could have just had Curry in there.
We already had Curry rebounds in there. Yeah. Which hit an OT. Yeah. Which is crazy.
Man. Did it miss by one leg?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Clay. It was.
You had 11 threes, dude.
Yeah. He shot 2 for 11.
Trent, I don't know if you heard Javon's little spiel about this, but they're putting up a demon at 5.5.
Yeah, the demon was 4.5 when we took it. Now it's 5.5, dude.
That's wild. Who are they playing?
Weird.
The Nets, which I guess it makes a little bit of basketball sense because their 3-point defense is not fantastic, especially against spot-up shooters, but the Hawks is the same shit. So, that's weird.
Definitely weird. Can we talk about the Hawks game for a second?
Yeah, let's talk about the Hawks.
I want to talk about the Hawks. Are the Hawks back? Are they back? What's good with them? I know they're playing Trent's Clippers today, right? And the Clippers are just absolute wagons. They're 33-15. They're balling out this season. Sure, they're doing their jobs. It's not even like they're coming in on a losing streak. Atlanta's starting to turn their season around now. They've won 4 games in a row, covered 3 in a row. Javon, they're beating pretty solid teams. They just beat Golden State, Phoenix, and the Lakers, and then Toronto before that. Is the party over for Atlanta? And am I going to be hopping on too late here if I grab them at +4?
I think you are hopping on a little too late because the Clippers are off of a back-to-back and playing the Heat, which they played well. They dominated. Defense was actually a little – I kind of like the under in the game, and I debated about taking it, but I thought it was going to be a little bit more because of the Heat's defense instead of the Clippers. So now Hawks have been kings of taking advantage of teams in weird spots like this, like they just did with the Warriors when they're gassed off of a back-to-back. I think now seeing +4, I'm a little surprised it's not a little shorter, to be honest with you. Especially with
this stay off the Hawks today.
Yeah.
Stay off the Hawks. It's worth noting that they're trying to turn their season around, but I'll hop on here too late, and that'll be the game that they lose on this streak. So I'm with you. And I really don't feel like fading the Clippers anyways. They're fucking good. Straight up. Trent, you might be onto something with them.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
You might be onto something with them. That doesn't mean you put a 3K future on them. Okay? But maybe a rack room, Yeah. Also, I don't even know if they're going to let you put a 3K future down.
Why not?
You thought about that? They got limits out there, brother. They got limits.
I see fucking fat future wagers being placed.
Yeah, from Circus. Might have to go to Circus.
Yeah.
They don't limit. Man, the Clippers, though, could be their season, and I'm not really in a rush to fade them anyways, even with the Hawks playing well. I'm good with that. You're probably right, Javon. God, I just can't get over this Brooklyn Nets line moving so much either. No book is limiting trend. Let's be real.
Keeping this in mind too, man.
Yeah.
Every favorite one in the NBA yesterday, only 2 didn't cover. And of course, the 2 that I had spread did not cover. But
that's part of the reason. That's part of the reason I'm not really concerned with the Nets moving to a pick'em, and even if they move to like +1, like there's going to be some sort of regression from yesterday.
I mean, who the heck is betting on the freaking Nets in this spot? There's no way.
Yeah, not really anybody, which is interesting, especially when the whole community is sweating out Kuminga already, and it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I've seen him 75 times.
The splits don't look great, Javon. Full transparency here. The Nets are getting 40% of bets and 25% of handle on the spreads. So they're getting some small bets.
Look at the ML though, Krabs.
ML is looking pretty good. Less than 30% of bets and handle. And you're right, people probably aren't even betting the spread. So
yeah.
All right. Interesting.
Super random.
We'll see where that line settles.
I was just live on TikTok, and Vontaze Burfict was spamming roses in my TikTok live.
Unbelievable. I saw him playing Madden with one of those popular streamers. I forget the kid's name, but it was hilarious.
So
hilarious. Good to see Vontaze still up and moving around. Love to see that. Would have never guessed. Unbelievable. 25% of bets Krabs, and the line moves towards the Nets. Yeah, I honestly think Javon had a good point, though. I should have been looking at the ML because that's what people are betting in this game anyways. 25% of bets, Krabs in the line, move towards the Nets. Is it moving towards the Nets?
Yeah, not anymore.
Not anymore. Yeah, I don't know. We gotta have this line settled before we make a decision here.
Okay? Yeah, we probably do.
All right. We got Brady Domenic coming in with a subby. What's up, Brady? 16 months, absolute fucking beast. And W Trent sending over people from your Talk Live over here. We got some follows. Appreciate you, as always. Chad, it's about that time. Before we hop in to the squad rides, though, I wanted to make sure we talked about 2 things. Number one, if you're not using props.cash, okay, to hit more Prize Picks entries, what the heck are you doing? I promise it's going to help you hit more entries. I use it every single day. So does Lauren. So does Javon. Okay. And it fucking helps. I'm telling you, it cuts down the research time in half at least. All right. Go check out props.cash if you're sending Prize Picks. Plain and simple. We got Webby coming in, resubbing. All right. We got to do King of the Board as well, Javon. Any plays from you today for King of the Board?
I'm saying no. Partially just because a lot of these games have a lot of different last-second stuff going on.
Okay. All right. That's fair. Probably a smart move. Javon playing conservative after a big-time win. All right. I respect it. I am going to come out of the gates with a play there today, chat, for King of the Board. I'm going to go with Kansas State on the spread. 1 play, 1 winner. They keep it within 4.5 points.
I did actually forget about that game. You know what? Sign me up for the over. I'll take that.
No way. Yeah. Same game, King of the Board action?
Same game, King of the Board.
Wow.
SGP?
First ever.
Yeah.
Could be decent SGP look. Wow. Okay. I'm in on that. A first ever 2-piece in 1 game for King of the Board. W's.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to intimidate me here a little bit. Take a winner in the same game. I like where his head's at.
It's a real sweat. Right. Sure.
It's going to be a sweat, chat. We will post that on Book at BTL later today, but Javon's going with the Kansas State over, and I'm going to take Kansas State on the spread. Let's hope we go 2-0. All right? Goots, run that shit. I want to see that damn train. Come on. All right, chat. We got to be picky today. We need to hit a squad ride on this Moose slates. We're 18-7-1 in the new year on squad rides. I want to get to 20 ASAP. I want to get to 20 tomorrow, and for that to happen, we got to hit a squad ride today. All right, Javon, we got plenty of plays. I actually like the Sharp Report today. Any plays that you cannot go without?
Kansas State over.
All right. I'm going to put in the Kansas State spread probably as well.
Sure.
Lots of people votes. KSU over. What number are you saying?
145.
145. We got KSU. Sure. They are plus 4.5 still, or are they 4? They're 4.5. W's. Kansas State plus 4.5. What else, Javon? We had plenty of options, plenty of angles. Jackson State looking at me funny.
Ooh, I do like Jackson State. We'll gladly put
Alcorn ML is probably a good look as well, but
yeah, it's minus 170. It's crazy. So
is that the case on the other geysers though? And I can do a quick peep, but we'll put Jackson State in there. Let me see if it's just that one book. All right, because that's a really good look, and I wouldn't mind putting that play in there, but we're not putting a minus 170.
Yeah, I was seeing rumors that other books are relatively similar. I don't know how true that is from chat.
Let's see. I'll tell you in 3 seconds. Looks like, no. I'm seeing minus 146 on blue. I'm seeing minus 150 on some places. What do you think?
Tap in then.
I'll be down to take the ML. More books than not have way better lines than what we were showing you guys today. All right. Let's put that ML in there. That's a winner. All right. If people don't want to take that or deal with it, they don't have to vote for it, Alcorn ML. So we've got that. We've got Jackson State. We've got Kansas State spreads. And we've got the Kansas State over, Javon. Do we have one more Geyserman to put in here?
I would say from the NBA, it's either the Pelicans or your Mavs Sixers over. That's looking at me the funniest.
Really? Because it keeps on moving up?
It does keep on moving up, which I like, which I don't know. Maybe that's because Kyrie is officially playing, Luka's playing, whatever it may be, but I'm still with it.
You came in today saying your favorite NBA play was the Pelicans on the spread. Does that still stand true?
Does still stand true.
We're putting that in there.
Let's go.
Putting that in there. To me, that seems like a better play, laying them at that fat line than taking this, square over. It's not as square as it looks, but it's still an over. And I know they've been hitting, but would love to diversify and pivot and go with your spread here. Okay.
Yep. I didn't even see the splits on that game too. That's interesting.
Yeah, they look good.
50% of bets, but 78% of money. They look sharp. So all the money is indeed not on the Pels.
They look good. All right. Chat, 5 plays, 5 winners. You have 2 minutes to vote. Hurry up. Go, 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 go. We've got Kansas State over 145. We've got Kansas State plus 4.5. Jackson State ML, Alcorn ML, and the Pelicans minus 11 on the spread. Hurry up. Get your votes in. Go, 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 go. I want to see 100 votes. We have no time. You have 1 minute to lock in before we pivot over to Trent's third stream and see what he's crafting up on this moose shit slate, because he's deploying. I'm curious to see what he's locking in today, Javon. He's been pretty sharp. He's been pretty sharp.
He's been either he's been streaky, man. I see him lurking. He's either been full fading or sweeping. That might be the place he wants to be.
Yeah, well, he came in here with some good Phil's knocks.
He did. He might be tapped today. I'm excited. I'm excited to see the card.
Let's see what he's got. He doesn't look too excited.
He looks like he's pre-moose piss.
I'm trying to be such a good boy until we get to Vegas, bro. I was really good boy this past week, even though I was full fading and shit. I was trying to keep the units low. The units have been very low. Bringing fat coinage to Vegas. Need to also know where we're at with the Super Bowl ticket.
Yeah, I checked last night. Let's see all this vote's going on. Let's see where we're looking at. I saw it drop to below 5K a couple days ago when I texted you, and then it creeped back up. Let's see what it's sitting at right now. God, I got a lot of stuff I'm looking up. ACC tournament. They're still hovering a little bit above 5 racks. So not great steam there. Not going to lie to you. Not great steam. But you know what? It's not going to matter until Sunday. Plain and simple. It's not going to matter until Sunday. All right? 5 to 6K. Goodness gracious.
No, I'm not doing it.
Get your votes in. Hurry up. We're not doing that, Trent.
No.
We're not doing that. Reverse line movement on this. Not great reverse line movement. Don't love that.
I'm already kind of mentally hyped for Circa.
Yeah. I mean, keep that same mindset. And then if anything changes, it will. But keep that same mindset. We'll be at Circa for the Super Bowl unless anything crazy changes, Looks like we got a squad ride W. Kansas State over 145. Chat rolling with Javon today. W's. King of the board play as well. All right. Chat, we'll meet you guys at the counter. That's a 9 p.m. Eastern start. Probably the best game of the day today in college basketball. That and the Miami UVA game, which we'll have plays in as well. So stay posted. All right, we'll post all of our plays and stick around for the third stream starting up soon. Trent's going to take you through the slates, and I'm very curious to see what he's betting on this Monday with not that many great games. All right, hockey's back. We need to see what Chelly's on. Make sure you guys subscribe